Okay, so today we're going to be repairing the spring and the rudder in a Hori Flight Stick. My Flight Stick 3, the yaw lever, the spring popped. So I happen to have a couple Hori Flight Sticks. I got two of the 360 version and the PS2 one also. So what I'm going to do is take the spring out of this one, because this one I use all the time and it works on my PC and it's perfectly compatible, whereas this one only works on the 360 and I have two of them. So what I'm going to do is just take the spring out of this one, but I'm also going to measure the spring and try to see if I can find one online that would be a perfect replacement, hopefully, and that way I can fix this controller again and maybe share the information online so other folks can find it, if I can find it. But anyway, here we go. Okay, I'm not sure how well you can see this, but right here there's a spring there. There's supposed to be a spring here on the other side of the yaw lever that holds it centered. It snapped, so it's just in there loose. Whereas if you look at this one, you can get it open. This one has the spring still intact. You can see there when I yaw how the spring brings it back to the center. So I gotta pull this board out and get to that spring. Alright, so here you can see how the spring goes in there, where that screw is. It runs right through the spring. So it's sort of U-shaped with a spiral at the end. Alright, there's our spring. Alright, so according to my trusty caliper, the hole in the spring is 5.85 millimeters. And now we'll measure it and get some idea of the length. Looks like it's 23.59, 23.6 millimeters long, approximately. That's 0.929 inches. Alright, we got our broken spring out, so it's time to put the complete spring back in the other one. Something you'll discover when you try to put the spring in is that it's a pain. It's hard to hold it open and put it onto the spindle thing at the same time. So the method I devised, not sure how well it's going to work, but it's the best thing I could come up with, is a pair of needle nose pliers. You put one end through the circle, hold it stable, and then put the other end there, and then I'm going to try to slide it off onto our apparatus and see what happens. I would have to say that getting that thing back in there was one of the most annoying things I've had to do in my entire life. So hopefully, maybe to help it last a little bit longer, I'm going to take a dab of white lithium grease, put it on the spring here. Nice and greased up. Oh, and in case you were wondering, no, the knobs really aren't connected to anything. So what I've been able to find so far on Google, I believe it's called a lever spring, but I'm going to keep checking around and see if I can find some more information. Now, I know I didn't really go into disassembly, but basically it has these screw holes, and all of these have a medium length screw, except for this one uses a short screw. So, and then the really long screws are the ones that attach the throttle handle here. So hopefully you wouldn't have any trouble getting it on your own, but basically you just unscrew the screws from here first, and then you flip this upside down, remove these screws, and then to put it back together you just obviously put these screws in first, flip it upside down, make sure your cord isn't twisted, and then screw it back in with the long screws here. So hopefully that's helpful.